Hello traders, Nick Shaheen here looking at NEO. This is my third effort at recording this video because I'm trying not to sound negative, and the last two versions were slightly negative and it would have caused a slew of trolls coming out and hitting me in social media. So anyway, let me try to start with the conclusion so I can put you in the right frame of mind. I drew these during the other videos and I'll leave them on there and I'll speak to them in a little bit. Alright, so NEO is under threat, the stock. Nothing against the company. The stock price is under threat. And overnight, today is 12:14, and overnight it again hit this zone of 38.x one more time. So now we have lower highs for about 30% eyeball, hitting the same floorboard. How many times is this floorboard going to last? It served as two bounces here, the base of this whole thing, the fight that started this whole thing right there in November 4th. And here we are, one more bang on it, which you can't see here because it's not showing the overnight. Now it looks like a head and shoulders of sort. That's why I have that arrow down there. I'm not saying it's going there, okay? I'm just telling you that right now you have lower highs coming into a floorboard, so stuff is going to happen, guaranteed. Okay, this is not a stock that's quiet, that's going to go away without a fight, without an explosion. So here's the way I see it. This is just a daily chart. Oops, chat room still open. You have range that is coming down like this. The range was this way. In fact, it was like all the way down to here. If you want to do this, same thing. The range was this way, and it's coming down into a point. Energy is building. Something's going to give. Either boop or breakout, deal with the resistance however way you want to deal it. And these are two resistance lines I see. So something is coming right here. Pick the direction you want. So here's the trading statement, in my opinion, on this one. Just based on the daily chart, not getting fancy again. If I am a fan of charts, then I know that there's a move coming. And this is where I have to make a guess, down or up. If I've been eyeballing NEO for a long time, I was like, I wish I was long, I wish I was long, I wish I was long. It just got a 30% haircut. Why not take a stab on the long side, right? So the idea is to swing, and here's the tricky part, trade. Swing, trade. Up, meaning bet, again a critical term, bet on the floor, holding one more time and wait for a rally. How do I do that? I buy the shares, or I buy calls or call spreads out in time. Call spreads is the most mild way of doing that because then it's a hedge. I limit my maximum profits, but what's wrong with doubling my money, right? Oh, terrible thing to do. As opposed to buying calls where you can make a lot of money, but a couple of red ticks and you poop your pants. So in this case, since my assumption is that, what did I say first? The floor will hold. That's where my stop should be. If price goes below my stop, then I should get out. Profits or losses, I should get out. Because the basis of the whole thing, is that the floor will hold, and if it does, then the bulls have a chance at bouncing one more time and dealing with the resistance above. Where is the resistance? Immediately there is resistance. Into 42.5, into 45, and more importantly into 48. It's not insurmountable, but it's there. They have to deal with it one line at a time. Right now, the sellers are in charge of the stock, meaning every pop is getting sold automatically by machines. So I don't count on them changing that habit until the code tells them to. The only reason the code tells them to is because they see evidence of it in the actual price pattern. So for now, disclosure, made the opposite bet a couple weeks ago, and I shared it last week on Twitter and StockTwits. I'm holding a small put position out into next year, somewhere around 30. So it's green already, and I didn't close it. So I effectively made the bet down. Okay, and again, I emphasize the word bet, and I'm not banking against the company. I'm not saying it's a crap company, you should short it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying chart-wise, I opted to take a short in it. I'm risking a little money, and I'm green in it already. It's a finite amount of money. It's not like I sold the shares short, which would be insanity in this case. This is a super momentum stock, which I wouldn't dare touch that way. I just happen to think that gut says lower is easier. That's it. I don't need to explain it. I just need to disclose it. Now, I say it now because I told you how to play it on the long side, right? So the idea is to trade it for a swing higher. All right, so the way it would happen ideally is you get the motion you want, which is hold one more time, and overnight, I don't know if I said it, it hit 38.70 one more time here on Sunday night, Monday morning. So pre-open. If they go back up there, there's going to be a fight right here at 42.50. They might fade a little bit. They might come back. They try to attack it again. If they get above it, then they verify, okay, so we have some footing. Then they go on to the next fight. There's one at 45 and there's one at 48 for sure. So there's R in the way. But each one is an opportunity that brings the next level of difficulty. So they have to tackle them one line at a time. But the important thing, job one, is hold the floor. Now, this is quadruple witching week on Wall Street. The quote expert tell us that we should worry a heck of a lot this Friday, especially because of Tesla. Oh my gosh, Tesla's coming into the S&P. The whole world is going to stop rotating and we're going to go the other way. Which apparently, by the way, has happened several times in the history. So it's not a big deal anyway. So in this case, I don't believe them. There are so many people looking for downside. We rarely get into an accident when everybody's watching the road. So maybe they're exaggerating to sell some tickets onto CNBC shows or something like that. But that alone doesn't want me to short everything. But having a bearish position on NEO makes me feel better about it. But I think the potential for an upside move is just as likely as a downside move. So literally, it's a binary outcome. We have two paths. One of them is going to happen and the other one is not, at least in the beginning. So if you feel good about the upside, I've just showed you the potential, how it unfolds. If you don't know how to do it, other than buying shares, buying calls, I wouldn't buy next week's calls or this week's calls. I would at least go out to January or longer, because then I would have the opportunity. It's a slower trade, so it will gain slower, but it's also going to react a little bit slower on bad days. And ideally, you want something that's self-hedged, which is a debit call spread. So I buy a call and then I sell a call above it, thereby lowering my entry cost in the whole spread. It's a vertical spread, same time frame. If I do January, it's January. And this way, on a bad day, I've got one leg losing, one leg's winning. Then my overall redness on my portfolio, in my portfolio, is not as acute as saying I'm holding a naked call. This is a fast-moving stock. You need conviction. I need conviction when I take a naked call. Luckily, it's a low-priced, I'm not saying cheap, it's a low-ticket price stock. So it's not as expensive as buying a naked call, say, in Tesla or Shopify or something. But still, money is money. You can lose 100% pretty quickly. So that would be the fork that it's coming to. I guarantee you there's going to be a move in NEO. Guess which way? I guess lower, but my guess is as good as yours. I promise you that. I'm not saying that's where it's going. Mine is a guess. It's not a conviction short. The fundamentals are undeniable. The top line, where is it? Financials. The top line revenue, I mean, it's 4 billion, 5 billion, 4.5 billion a quarter. Yeah, they spend most of it, but on just the cost of revenues, which is insane. 90% of it, poof, gone. But it's there. So unless it's a luck and coffee, and I have no evidence of that, then I don't bet against it just because the stock is rising so fast, right? Some stock rise fast and they never look back. Look at Tesla. All right, that's enough. Nick signing out. Look at that, under 10 minutes. Holy moly! Oh, I haven't mentioned it yet. Down below in the chat, in the description, there is a link to the chat room. Let me put the disclosure out there. Gosh dang it, I get so much. Okay, so it's a free trial for 10 days. It goes to PayPal, but the transaction is $0 for the 10 days. Thereafter, there is a charge, but 10 days free. Reason I use PayPal is because I'd like to protect my community and stop the trolls from coming in unhindered. This way, if I know somebody whipped out their card to get in the front door, they're serious about learning something or becoming part of a good community. We have hundreds of people in there, all kinds of trading styles, and you won't find one jerk in there. They tend to leave. I've kicked out only 2 people in years and years of doing this. Nick signing out.